My name is Mark Bradford, and I'm an artist working in Los Angeles. I'm inviting the viewers into my imagination of the place of Los Angeles in Shanghai. Free admission became part of the exhibition itself. We wanted to give access to a larger number of people to experience contemporary art. To the rich, the poor, the middle class. Ideas belong to everyone. The central sculpture is over 10 years old, Mithra, after the Hurricane Katrina, this natural disaster, and it really stripped back the kind of racial and economic equalities in New Orleans. I collected all of these plywood barricades. To build an ark is like the biblical ark, to question what happened to the people, to the possibility of new life coming after a disaster. The idea of sailing it across and to Shanghai and docking it, conversation that it could have with this city, I was really excited about. Water is very strong. I mean, Mithra sailed. I wanted to kind of make a vertical painting, waterfall. When you come to a space like the Long Museum, you have to deal with the architecture. When I thought about putting something as large as Mithra inside of this kind of dock, I wanted him to be on the floor, having a more relationship with atmosphere, like something that float. The lines and everything come from these old navigational sea maps that I would always draw on top of the buoys. There's a solar system that was actually created for the Long Museum. I thought to make it just the earth and all of the different shapes. We're here together. We have to take care of the planet together. I grew up in South Central LA. Music and kind of African-American culture and language has always been something that I grew up with. My mom owned a business, which was a hair salon. Single mom, very independent. Yes, my first job was helping my mom, 11 years old. She says, get up, you have to help me in the family business. That little boy shampooing the hair, asking, oh, you want it hot, you want it cold? And then I got older and I would help with the wigs. I'd style the wigs and I would do the calligraphy of the prices. You're just creative, you play around with things. I mean, we were just working class people. I don't think so much working class people think, oh, my child's gonna be an artist. Some people just don't have a word for things. 15 years old, disco music comes out. That was fabulous. Talk about nightlife. And then when I got about 28, I said, yeah, you know, okay, you can't party your whole life. Well, by the time I went to university, I was 30, yeah. I didn't graduate until I was 37. Got a scholarship and I did go to university and I did go through the whole thing and got a master's degree, which was kind of funny for me, a master's degree. Yeah, and I became, an artist, But I went back to the hair salon to work. I started to use these papers and make paintings out of them. So a lot of times I would just name the paintings based on the hair color. People were asking me too much of, tell me your story of being from South Central. Tell me your story of being black. Tell me your story of being 6'8". Tell me I said, oh, you're asking too many questions. So I found a way of working abstractly that I could answer these questions for myself slow. The papers that come from the factories that are made for flyers and posters and everything. This kind of pull paintings, this kind of physical, I do a lot of physical power washing and sanding and ripping and pulling. And people ask me that all the time, how do you know a painting's finished or how do you know a work is finished? And I always say, well, how do you know when a relationship is finished? I can walk through here and some of the paintings, but it's like meeting an old lover. They call it collage and decollage and a painter that doesn't use paint. And I don't think that I'm any different than the Mark when I was 8 years old. Not really. I mean, they put words on it. I think social justice issues have always interested me, even as a kid. Just this idea of kind of, equity and diversity and inclusion, they've always interested me. I think maybe because I grew up in a matriarchal space, my role model was the woman that styled hair and that also owned her own business, and then also taught me how to use a drill, a saw, paint walls. I'm not an angry person, and I don't mind showing, talking about it in my work or shining a light on things that I feel strongly about. If I never sold a piece of artwork, if I never had a show, I would still be an artist. I'm still gonna make work. I had done it my whole life, and nobody was gonna take away from me.